Corona.
There is perhaps no industry more severely impacted by COVID-19 than aviation. As it's a brand new virus, when there is no immunity or vaccines, the governments all across the globe is banning all kinds of travel to physically isolate people. As the amount of individuals and sectors this would impact was astronomical. So in this video, we are discussing about the impacts on the industry, measures to ease the outbreak, and the recommendations. So let's get started.
Airlines are one of the hardest hit sectors by this pandemic. Obviously, business passenger flight demand will decrease due to global air ticket sales can reduce flight demand from business passengers. Business will be forced to reduce capacity, frequency, and make very significant economic adjustments to reduce unnecessary expense. Likewise, leisure passenger flight demand will also fall. In summary, the main cause of this impact is the economic recession. This will change people and business behavior to spend their money, which is resulting in low flight demand or loss of business traffic.
Moving on to the impact on airports, statistics has shown the revenues of airports would decrease by 45% in total when compared to the baseline scenario. Revenues of an airport mainly come from fees of airport services and payments from private sectors which utilize airport space. But due to the current pandemic, people are traveling less and the amount of traffic is decreased, resulting in reduced income from revenue channels of airports. Loss in revenues suggests less cash flow. Now, airports are facing more challenging tasks of balancing incomes and expense, which could potentially result in wage reduction, furloughing, or the worst case scenario, layoff. Some of the airport facilitations and services could also be limited, delayed, or even cancelled.
Air cargo demand slammed in February as COVID-19 takes hold. The spread of COVID-19 adjusted demand for air cargo fell by 9.1%. Asia Pacific carriers were the most affected with seasonally adjusted drop of 15.5%. The disruptions of global supply chains led to a fall in demand. But the disruptions in passenger traffic result in even deeper cut to cargo capacity.
Legislations. In Europe, the European Commission will put forward targeted legislation to alleviate airlines from their airport slots. This measure will help both the European industry and the environment. Security checkpoint adjustment. Some adjustments recommended in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, as they will help the industry operate to remedy the damage from the COVID-19, at least by a little bit, such as passenger volumes, social distancing, protecting workforce, and medical exemption for hand sanitizers. Next, office and state property liens and charges. Concessionaires and airlines who still operate will get offers for a cost reduction in their liens and airport charges, or just less of the charges. Therefore, they would still have funds needed to survive and be able to pay their employees.
Continuity of cargo operations. Continuity of the air cargo business is essential for households, communities, and industries. Concession fee payments. Governments need to consider on a case-by-case basis waiving airport liens and concession fees applicable to airport operators. Tax relief. Ensure the sustainability of the entire aviation ecosystem by granting relief on airport tax. Protecting airport jobs by immediate provision of government assistance, ensuring secure financing and loans. The suspension of all tax.
Prospect for recovery in aviation. As I believe it is reasonable to foresee further recovery in domestic passenger traffic in the case of international passenger traffic. However, the recovery will take longer. Human resource measure. If we look further in the future, what will be required of the CHRO in helping the company leadership and its workforce regain moral and confidence? The moral compass of a sustainable business. The leaders who protect the well-being of their employees and engage them to go the extra mile are well positioned to instill a moral compass root in a sustainable value for our business today.
In the current world situation, the government has applied many protocols such as lockdown and social distancing, resulted in the deceleration in learning and operating skills, since people are restricted to stay at home. But we can turn the crisis into opportunity by using reskill and upskill. Reskill is a skill to learn new things completely different from our usual expertise. On the other hand, upskill is a skill to update our current knowledge and skills. Nowadays, technologies are everywhere and it is easy to access. With this technology, developing reskill and upskill are a piece of cake.
But what if someone can just stay at home, like some of the aviation personnel? Let's see what they can do to maintain physical and mental well-being. First of all, they must be familiar with local protocols for management of ill travelers and their possible contacts. Next, take precautionary measures to reduce the possibility of infection, such as applying social distancing, wash hands frequently, and self-monitoring. And due to COVID-19 situation, quarantine becomes the most crucial activity. Therefore, personnel should be trained on hand hygiene, how to use PPE, and self-monitoring.
In the end, how deep the death sentence will be determined by how the club source, and that will be determined by how everyone responds to COVID-19.